All right, let's talk about something weird that we humans do. Why do we climb mountains when there's a perfectly good cable car? Why do we actively look for challenges? Today, we're diving deep into the powerful, hidden forces that make us tick. And it all comes down to three key words that are secretly running your life: novelty-seeking, dopamine, and addiction. Let's get right into it. I mean, seriously, have you ever really stopped to think about it? Why would someone choose to suffer freezing their way up a mountain when a warm, comfortable cable car is sitting right there? Or, why do we spend a whole Sunday in total frustration trying to assemble furniture when we could have just bought it pre-built? It seems like we go out of our way to choose the hard path. The big question is, why on earth would we do that? Well, there's actually a name for this bizarre human tendency. It's called the effort paradox. And it really is a paradox, isn't it? We're supposed to be hardwired to conserve energy, to take the easy route. And yet somehow we get more satisfaction and value from things precisely because they were a pain to get. It makes absolutely no logical sense, but it's a contradiction that's right at the very heart of what drives us. So to solve this paradox, we need to meet the main character in our story. This isn't just some random habit, it's a fundamental part of your personality, a trait that is literally baked into your DNA, pulling the strings behind the scenes. So let's meet the culprit. It's called novelty-seeking, and yes, it's a heritable personality trait. Its whole job is to push us toward new things, new ideas, new places, new experiences. It's that little voice in your head that gets so bored with the same old, and starts whispering, okay, what's next? Come on, there has to be something else out there. That feeling? That's the engine of all human exploration. Now, this trait isn't just one simple thing. Nope. According to the psychologist C. Robert Cloninger, it has four distinct, let's call them, flavors. First, there's exploratory excitability. That's the rush you get from a brand new idea. Then you've got impulsiveness, making a quick call and just going for it. Third is extravagance, which is basically being willing to spend a ton of energy and resources to chase after a reward. And finally, disorderliness, that deep, gut-level hatred for boring, rigid routines. So as you're hearing these, be honest. Do any of them sound a little familiar? But our main character, Novelty-Seeking, doesn't act alone. Oh no, it has a powerful partner in crime, a chemical co-conspirator working deep inside your brain, fueling this entire operation. It's time to talk about the famous and famously misunderstood molecule, dopamine. Okay, let's just stop right here and get one thing straight. Everything you've probably heard about dopamine being the pleasure chemical, well, it's just not the whole story. It's one of the biggest myths in pop neuroscience, actually. Dopamine is not about the pleasure of getting the reward. Its real job is motivation. Dopamine is the chemical of wanting, not having. It's the thrill of the chase, not the capture. It's that feeling of anticipation you get before you reach the goal. It's what drives you to seek, to explore, to strive. The most important thing to remember is it's the chemical that gets you off the couch. So here's how it works. Dopamine floods your brain not when you get the prize, but in anticipation of it. Get this. In a famous study, scientists made rats work harder and harder for a reward, and they found that the more effort the rats put in, the more dopamine their brains released. That right there is the effort paradox in action. Just like climbing that mountain, the struggle itself triggers the chemical that makes us want to keep struggling. And in our modern world, this ancient system is being hijacked. As the Stanford psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lembke puts it, our phone has basically become a hypodermic needle, injecting us with digital dopamine 24/7. Every notification, every like, every endless scroll, it's just a tiny little hit of anticipation, hooking our ancient brain wiring and keeping us seeking, tapping, and scrolling for more and more. So let's recap. We have our two main characters, a personality trait that craves the new, and a brain chemical that rewards the search. That is one powerful combination. But like any good story, this one has a twist, because this exact same drive for more can be used to build empires, or it can destroy lives. Now, let's talk about the consequences. Because when this powerful engine of novelty-seeking and dopamine goes into overdrive, when there are no brakes, it can lead us all down a very, very dark path. You have to see this trait as a double-edged sword. On one side, the bright side, it fuels everything we admire: creativity, scientific discovery, learning, personal growth. It's why we explore new frontiers. But the dark side is always there. The same drive can show up as dangerous impulsivity, compulsion, risky behavior, and a powerful vulnerability to addiction. And the scientific link here is terrifyingly clear. Study after study confirms that having a high level of novelty-seeking is one of the strongest predictors that a person will develop a substance abuse disorder. And this is so important. It's not a moral failing. It's not about being a bad person. It's a matter of brain chemistry and personality wiring. The research is just undeniable. High novelty seekers are more likely to start using drugs, they're more likely to transition from casual to compulsive use, and they're even more likely to relapse after treatment. And we're not talking about just one substance. This link holds true for alcohol, for nicotine, for stimulants like cocaine, and for opiates. And here's the absolute key to all of this. It's because the very same neural pathway, that dopamine-driven reward system that motivates a scientist to explore a new theory or an artist to create something new, is the exact same system that an addiction hijacks. The engine is the same. The only thing that changes is the destination. So does that mean this is a curse? Are people with a high drive for novelty just doomed? Not at all. The story doesn't end there. The final act is all about learning how to become the master of this powerful internal force, instead of being its servant. It is absolutely essential to understand that this drive for the new isn't a flaw that needs to be fixed. It's a feature of the human operating system. It's what drove our ancestors out of the caves to explore the entire planet. For better or for worse, it's just who we are. One expert put it perfectly. Our nature as humans is closely linked to the idea of seeking and desiring more. We are, at our core, seeking machines. So the question isn't if we're going to seek, it's what we're going to seek. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. The secret is not to crush this impulse, which is impossible anyway, but to channel it, to aim that powerful engine of exploration and motivation toward things that are challenging, meaningful, and genuinely fulfilling. Learn an instrument, start a difficult project, train for a marathon, explore a whole new field of knowledge. So in the end, this unstoppable drive for what's next, for the novel and the new, it's not something to be afraid of. It's our inheritance. It's a story that began hundreds of thousands of years ago, and it is written in the very code of our DNA. Which leaves us with one final personal question. The wiring is already there. The engine is running. Your brain is built to seek, period. The only choice you really have to make is this. What will you choose to find?